Everyone, welcome back to round 5. I am Oldemo Dave, and this is the coverage of the Severn River Series, moving into our winning in periods, where can tell you we have had the top 3 tables ID, so we are currently watching a straight up win and in. Dave is no longer with me, but I have been replaced with well-known Magic player, Lucy Fair. Lucy, good to see you.
Hello.
I was so tempted to do that. I'm the problem. It's me at the end of that. After that,
It's me. I'm the problem.
We are opening up. We're basically quick start. Idris is straight out there. It's Affinity.
Just straight up going for it.
Affinity versus Zoo. Zoo previously on camera. Josh being around with us now. Yeah, I think Josh currently holds the 2025 record of games on camera in Firestorm. I'm not too sure, but it's
pretty good.
They're doing all right. I did call them Joe Callers for the whole of their last RCQ. So
Dave.
yeah,
Come on.
but I feel like I've put both these guys in 1.25 mode, because suddenly we're on 2 lands and a lot of cardboard. But
Yeah, that's progressed quite quickly here. We've got Josh cracking his wooded foothills to get a land here. Probably going to get, maybe a surveyor land. Maybe he's looking to get a triome. So we're probably going to see something like a temple garden or a lush portico at some point really soon, just to get domain on as quickly as possible.
But we saw Josh earlier, and I think the big thing really was that his games where he hit ley line were great.
Yeah.
The ones without
Quite poor.
They were poor unless he drew wealth. And in this matchup now against like the artifacts, he really wants to see those doorkeeper thralls.
Absolutely.
But a Scion's okay too.
Dracon on 2 is a pretty good start for the Zoo deck, even without like sort of its most busted draws. Like a 4/4 flyer is going to kill him in 5 turns. But Idris does have Tameo. He's got a Mishra's Bauble. I think I see a Tormod's Grift on the left-hand side. So any sort of flages or anything like that Josh is going to be playing aren't going to be very useful at the moment.
Thoughtcast though.
Already going for a Thoughtcast. Something I am curious about, though, is Idris's mana base. He has 2 copies of Spire of Industry, which are going to cause a problem for him in the long term. Zoo being quite an aggressive deck, looking to get out the gate really quickly, and those 1 life pings off of Spire of Industry might end up hurting him in the long run.
True.
Cameo flipping, though, is useful.
Yeah.
That +1 isn't nothing, but a 3rd Spire is like... I would be looking for something a little bit better.
It's like when the neuter Pioneer Phoenix player plays all of their pain lands, and suddenly they're on 5 life.
Shock Steam Vents. Chivalry for red to kill your thing. Oh wait, I'm at 10 life and you're playing mice, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, exactly. And the Scion's great, and also I think if I'm right in saying that's a Xander's Lounge.
That is Xander's Lounge and a Temple Garden, which means we have all 5 land types in play.
Yeah, so the Scion is unapologetically online.
Oh yes.
The Tameo isn't just like safe like it would be against Boros Energy, where everything's a 1 pinger.
Well, Tameo going up to 4. Scion of Draco isn't going to be enough to kill the Tameo immediately, as it is going to get -1/-0 when it attacks, which isn't nothing. Tameo sticking around longer term is going to cause some problems for maybe some of Josh's smaller creatures. That sort of those -1 pings can really add up over the course of a game. But Idris's draw, to me... Now, correct me if you think I'm wrong on this, but I'm only seeing 3 artifacts in play and a flip Tameo. His draw seems quite anemic to me as far as Affinity usually is in the match.
Yeah, this felt like one of those, it's a great start, but I need to do better.
Ooh, look at that.
He did that. He
needed that. It's extremely clear to me at the moment that Idris is far behind in this game. But, well, there you go. That's, like...
That's stubborn denial.
That stubborn denial is also huge. And now Idris is strongly on the back foot despite having a flip Tameo. Like, I'm not sure what he's looking to do here. Maybe he's looking to like -3 the Tameo, get a Thoughtcast. But that alone is going to cost 2 mana. I think he's just plussed.
Yeah, I think we have to really shout out today that if Josh wins this whole RCQ, they need to just stand in front of the well-known poster wall that we do with just a stubborn denial.
Just a stubborn denial.
No, none of the rest of the deck. Just.
But here we go. Here's a Kappa Cannoneer from Idris, and if you've played 8 cast in Legacy, you know that this card kills really quickly. But with 2 Scion of Dracos on the battlefield, Tamiyo's plusing every turn. I'm not so sure that Josh is going to be able to kill Idris in time. And that Kappa Cannoneer, really difficult to deal with, having Ward 4. Not sure why they gave the card Ward 4, given that they also gave it Improvise, but that's fine.
Well, we've seen...
The card's still busted.
We have seen with previous games, 2 of our players who have ID'd into Tamiyo were also playing Kappa Cannoneer.
Yeah.
Despite interaction being everywhere in Modern, this is one of the cards that's really hard to interact with.
Here's a Leyline Binding. I wonder what that's going to go for. I think it's going to go for the Tamiyo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's going to fasten the clock. Idris is going to go down to 10 and potentially could just be killed next turn if he's got something like a Tribal Flames, even a Lightning Bolt. Taking 6 off of the Dracos right now. I mean, there's no point in leaving them back because Kappa Cannoneer is almost certainly not going to be able to be blocked next turn. But you swing now for 6. Idris has got to acknowledge the 2 Tamiyo triggers, which I think he's done. So he's going to take 6 now and go to 10. And then that's 8 next turn. Any copy of Tribal Flames or Bolt is going to do it next turn. And I think I see Tribal Flames in his hand.
Oh, we see a 3rd Scion as well.
3rd Scion will also do it. We're going to crack a land now. I think he's only going to 12. So it looks like he's only getting a basic. Maybe going to get a basic mountain to cast a Tribal Flames here. That's what I think is going to happen.
Tribal Flames Bolt?
Tribal Flames, I would probably not cast a Bolt if I was on Josh's side, as I'd want to represent some form of interaction.
Oh, no, just Ragavan.
Just a Ragavan.
Just, yeah, like you...
Ragavan, third Draco. I mean, yeah, and that is going to do it next turn.
Here is my team. Here is my team.
It's like, here's what I've got. You need to kill me right now, or you are going to lose the game. I think Idris drew a Portable Hole, which I think he's going to cast. Oh. Yep, there it is. And that's probably going to answer the Ragavan.
How do you stop the Scions? Like,
I just don't think you do. I think you need... Like, Portable Hole isn't going to answer it. You need to have, like, some level of dispatch in your main deck. Otherwise, it's going to be really difficult for you to actually answer these Dracos.
Yeah, this has been quite a rough draw out with mana, hasn't it?
Like, he's drawn 3 Spire of Industries. Undoubtedly, the life loss from those Spires has hurt him in this game. That Stubborn Denial on his... whatever it's called, I forget what it's called, Metallic Rebuke, that's the one.
That's the one?
Trying to counter that second Draco and just getting completely blown out. It was really rough for him. But also, I mean, he had Tamiyo on 1, a lot of stuff, a lot of the sort of starts that the Affinity decks are looking to have, but he didn't really have anything to sort of keep the game going, apply more pressure, and really sort of put Josh in the hot seat. This card isn't nothing, though. But the problem I'm having here is that it's only 1 blocker. And
yeah,
Idris is at 8. Dies. He's taken a lot of damage. He's brought himself down to 8 via Spire of Industry. 2 Dracos is going to be enough. He needs a second blocker or he's going to die. Idris thinking about what he's going to do here, but it's not looking very good for him at the moment. We'll see if he draws something like a Mox. He's just drawn another...
Trying to get the ball, like is the Kappa trying to win with the Kappa? Like,
yeah, but you just don't have enough artifacts. There's not enough. He needs to have something like Mox Opal, maybe another Thought Monitor. Just draw into a bunch of 0-cost artifacts and just kill him right now for 12 with a Kappa Cannoneer. But he needs to draw really well, and it looks like he's just drawn 2 baubles, and that's not enough.
Can he attack now, crack all the baubles and get into an answer? I wonder if
I don't see what he can find.
Force a negation potentially. No, but he needs to remove the board.
He needs something to answer what's on the battlefield already, and I don't know that he has that. He's cracking them all now. He's going to draw 3 cards, but he's got no mana. He's got no way to get mana.
This is how you have to...
And he scoops immediately. Like, Scion of Draco absolutely just, like, stomps him to the ground.
And
And
That was
Stubborn Denial.
that was a big stubborn denial. I think we've seen multiple stubborn denials today. Really do work against
Hold on, was that a main deck consigned to memory in Josh's deck?
I believe so.
I think I saw a main deck consigned to memory. That is bold.
I think we were talking earlier about a lot about micro metas, and like the great thing like this little series has done is sort of like brought together a regular player base playing across multiple stores. So this is although the first of the Firestorm ones was pre the series, like you've effectively now 4 tournaments on of the same player bases, seeing the same decks, the same people.
Yeah, for sure.
And you make micro adjustments, like we've seen today. Gavin, who came second in our original one, is now on a Eldrazi Brew scale, previously running on Eldrazi Combo.
And I think he's ID'd into the top 8 as well. So we'll potentially see some more of him later.
We've got Jason Handy, who's been with us a couple of the events, originally playing like a Grixis Frog, who has now gone over to the Sultai Frog to take use of the additional tools of Vajaka's Bargain.
That card is messed up.
So, I think we're seeing that across the piece as people then qualify. You can kind of go, well, I know there's, like, for example, Ben Jones qualified from our first one. You can go, like, there's another Boris Energy not in the room. Dave, who was with us, is already off combo, so there's less combo in the room. And we're starting to see that across the piece. And I think Josh, again, obviously a great Zoo player and has with us before on Zoo, has made those little minor adjustments that they were probably needing to make to combat what we were starting to see in the meta. Overall, Lucy, have you been keeping up with moderns much, or playing much modern, or like sort of...
I've not been playing much modern. I've been taking sort of an extended break recently from playing a lot of sort of more competitive Magic, and sort of focusing on other hobbies for a little bit. I definitely needed that break.
Which is healthy, though.
Absolutely. If you're feeling burnt out on the game, absolutely take a break. It'll help you in the long run. I recently got back into playing the game, sort of taking it a bit more seriously, and I'm pleased to say I've still got it. I've been having a lot of fun, and that's been great. If I were to play anything in Modern right now, I'd probably play Is It Prowess, because it's the breakout deck following Tarkir Dragonstorm. Corey Steelcutter is one of the most broken cards printed in a very long time. If you've played Standard recently, you know how good that card is and how quickly it runs you over.
Sure.
And just how difficult it is to interact with. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
In a lot of cases, and I think having access to cards like Mutagenic Growth and Mishra's Bauble I'm very gassy at the moment. Just to activate it on turn 2, it's just like, why aren't you doing anything else? Like, it's just so good. And then you draw like a second one, and it's just so difficult to lose.
No, understood. And we have seen Rossi Prowess today. I think it continues to grow and be a bit of a deck requiring refinement. I think
a lot of people are still trying to figure out the best way to build the Prowess deck, the best way to maximize Corey Steelcutter as a card, while also making sure that the deck is still resilient to the wide variety of diverse interactive options that all of the formats have to offer at the moment.
We saw them play Dylan on Boris Energy, and Boris Energy's removal plan was enough to be able to keep it under wraps, despite a few explosive...
Galvanic Discharge is a very good card against Prowess creatures.
Maybe Boris has a step or two to go, but we keep talking about these micro metas. Like, there's a time where it's the right deck to bring to the right format at the right time. You just explode through, get your... you don't have to go 8-0, but in fact, you only actually really go in some of them 5-0 if you 3-0 and then you do a semi-final final. Sometimes people overstate what winning an RCQ takes. You really just have to do the equivalent of...
It's all about consistency.
Performing in a league,
And you need to have that sort of intuition. In an RCQ, you're going to play against some more rogue decks that somebody brings to a tournament thinking, actually, in this sort of local metagame, this deck has a good chance. And we see this we see people winning RCQs with decks that you wouldn't normally expect to be part of sort of the upper echelons of the modern format. And you need to have that intuition, knowing what a deck is trying to do, so that you have not only the best tools that you have to interact with it, but you also know how to use the tools that you have to interact with your opponent in the best way. And having that intuition is what separates the good players from the great players, especially at the RCQ level, but even more so at the Pro Tour and at sort of higher level Magic tournaments. Where, people are going to be trying to break the format. You might see a breakout deck that, you weren't exactly expecting. And you need to be able to have that intuition in a game and go, okay, I'm playing against this deck. They're playing with these cards. They seem to be doing these things. I have access to X, Y, and Z, so I should use this against this. And maybe that slows them down enough that I can break through. And just little sort of micro decisions and sort of critical thinking like that can really up your win rate at any sort of tournament.
We're seeing, and this talking about little micro decisions, and this is like really this is the crunch time match of the day for many people. Round 5 often. You find yourself in more round 5 winning ins than you do in round 3 winning ID twices. Because like how does the pressure change when you get here to that sort of winning in state? Do you sort of how do you handle the pressure of it?
I mean, the same way I kind of sort of handle any sort of crisis that happens in my life. Really, I just kind of keep focused. I hope that's not panic and run away. No. Concede. No, you got it. Well done. Oh, God, I can't believe I did that. No. It's all about focus, really. At the end of the day, for Idris and for Josh, this is probably the most important match of the tournament. If you win, you're in the top 8. You can sort of relax a bit. You can play some good games. Game 1's already started, and we've got a ley line from Josh, which Idris is going to worry about. Well, maybe not, because that's a wet tear.
Okay.
Consider me color me surprised.
Consider me dealt with.
Yes, I take all of that back. I think Idris is feeling a little bit better now. But both of these players, I think the focus for them is going to be, funnily enough, to keep focused. If you start to let the emotions get to you, you're going to make worse decisions. You need to just focus on the game, make your best decisions, play your best Magic, and that is usually going to be enough. Sometimes there are going to be games like this where it's just not close. You're completely stuffed. There's nothing you can do, and that's okay. So long as you're keeping focused and you're playing your best Magic, try to breathe. You'll be fine. I remember playing a winning in at the Mega Modern in Cardiff last year, which you'll remember I did top 4 in that tournament. But I had my winning in having gone 5-0. Playing against Will Hall on coverage, playing Jeskai Control against Boros Energy. I was, quite frankly, I didn't look like it. Maybe I did. Maybe you can be the judge of that if you remember watching that tournament. I was bricking it the whole time. It's probably the scariest match of Magic I ever played. I played against Will Hall, brilliant player, somebody that I admire very much, both as a content creator, a player, and as a friend as well. We just had a lot of fun with it. Unfortunately, Will got very unlucky, and I ended up winning pretty comfortably to go 6-0 and just get into the top 8. But it was definitely still one of the scariest matches of Magic in my life. I remember thinking, oh my God, don't lose this game. But I kept focused and didn't make any game-breaking mistakes. I came close to doing it, but yeah. That's probably what Idris and Josh are thinking right now.
And really interesting rollout from Idris there. I thought he made a horrible misplay playing the portable hull, thinking he was going to be able to exile the Sign of Draco. It was actually a really smart play because they had their clue and enabled the Metalcraft. So great little bit of work there.
That was very good, and sort of being able to evaluate those sorts of plays. They don't look very intuitive at first, but when you have an understanding of how your deck works, it really helps to be able to make those plays. But Idris looks like he is stumbling again here. He's missed his 3rd land drop, and he's having to cast a Thoughtcast for 3.
Darksteel
Citadel isn't nothing,
And a Shadow Spear.
And a Shadow Spear. Okay, so
A little bit of a catch-up, but the Flage now being in the bin is a ever-present threat, right? And
Flage is in the bin, and there's 4 cards in graveyard.
yeah.
That's a problem if you're Idris Killen, right? You are terrified, that card is going to come in and it's just going to kill you. And with Arena of Glory, I think that's representing 12 damage on the spot. And he's at 18. So that really isn't nothing. Once that sort of comes down, it's going to be really difficult for Idris to really get a foothold in the game. I think Josh is considering a wear tear on the Shadow Spear. I don't hate that play, but I don't see how it advances your board.
It doesn't, but it just is in the spot that they were going to be able to hard cast Cannoneer and equip a Shadow Spear next turn. And I'm guessing Josh is not in a position to fight that. That's a scary one, right?
I feel like you're doing that if you have a bunch of 0 mana artifacts to improvise and then equip, but I don't see how Idris is getting that right now. Anyways, that's the bolt.
Josh feels like they were potential. If you also think though that is now helping feed the Flage, so it takes away something scary, feeds the Flage, but. Urza Saga.
The Saga is coming down to
something extra.
I fear. I think it's too late. And this Flage is going to come down with Arena of Glory next turn. What's Idris going to cast here? He's paying 3 mana. Is that a Thought Monitor? But Thought Monitor for 3, that's really rough if you're Idris. That's not what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for something like Tormod's Crypt, maybe a Dispatch, so that I can answer this Flage before it gets to attack. Because if Flage is being Arena of Gloried and is attacking me here, that's 12 points of damage. I'm at 6. 2 bolts, Tribal Flame, and there's so much that kills me. And Idris just passes. It's not looking very good for him.
Holding up Metalcraft, though, that's what I think is what we're seeing.
I mean, you have to hold up Dispatch here, right? It's your only offer. And here comes Flage. Now, is he exerting? I think he is.
In what you're seeing is
letting that go through.
Yeah, he's not got anything. And now Idris is in massive trouble.
He can't deal with it. That's disappointing.
It's just this is just really rough if you're Idris. Your deck, it's the most important match of the tournament, and your deck has not been too kind to you this game. Another artifact is going to be useful, though, if he's got something like a Thought Cast, but he really needs to draw some cards or answer Flage, 1 or 2. If not, he's going to lose.
Because the Kappa Cannoneer just essentially only becomes blockers here, right? And you need to be a lot more proactive than that.
And the problem here as well is that if you just hold up Urza Saga and try to activate it to make a blocker for the Flage, any bolt, any wear tear, anything like that is just going to kill you. And you have to leave up all that mana to do it. It's just not efficient. And often what we're seeing is that I think he's passed. What we're seeing is that Zoo is often spending a lot less mana to interact with you than you are.
Yeah, that's right.
And that is making all the difference. He's got a stubby. Yeah, no, this game is probably over.
I can't wait to do the thumbnail for this video. Get Stubborn Denial card art and just put Josh's face on it and just.
But that's the thing, right? Stubborn Denial has probably been the MVP of this game, but that's exactly what he's doing. Look at that.
He is.
He's making a construct. He's down to 6. Does Josh have the answer?
That's so he did.
No.
Oh, okay. So.
And the Flage is down. Idris might be in with a chance here.
Flage is down and out for a while after that graveyard.
But here's the thing, it could be gone forever. It could be gone forever because Idris could be getting his Tormod's Crypt out. That's a Tribal Flames in hand. Oh, no.
Go to 1.
Go to 1.
If you were going to have to climb the hard, long road back, Idris, you're going to do it from 1 life.
But here we see the significance of Josh tearing that Shadow Spear, because now Idris has absolutely no avenue whatsoever to gain life. And that's going to make a massive difference, because now from Josh, any burn spell, any Flage, any haste creature, if Idris doesn't have the answer, and he won't, because we know that Josh has that Stubborn Denial, Idris is toast.
Did he? It didn't exile it though, right? So you could ideally find Emery at some point here and recast it.
He could, but that's quite slow.
That's a couple
And
of turns away, right? And
Yeah, we're looking at the sort of short-term problem. Oh, okay.
Okay, the boots. Okay,
Larkspur boots isn't nothing.
let's help you protect your blocker a little with the wards.
Yeah, I think ultimately that Ward 1 isn't going to matter too much because if Josh has a burn spell, he's going to target this
punch
face,
you got
and
it,
it's not going to kill the construct. How big is the construct actually?
1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's an 8/7 with haste at the moment.
There's no
Josh is at 28. Okay, and here's the Tamio. So I think Idris is just like, okay, I've got a bunch of creatures to block your stuff.
Yeah, you still got to.
Interesting. Josh is cracking. Does he have a burn spell to end it here? He might do.
He does. There's definitely a white card in hand.
Let's see why.
If you bring in a vent in and an untapped,
He's brought in events untapped. That tells you something. None of these spells are counterable via...
oh,
We're going to do this.
Doorkeeper Thrall.
Ooh, Doorkeeper Thrall. It's going to stop him drawing the cards. That's good.
You made
That is good.
What's it?
Okay, but we are now looking still at. We are now still looking at off the top burn spells.
Yeah, off the top burn spells, flage, anything like that is going to end the game on the spot. If Josh somehow has 2 removal spells for both of the flyers, that's going to do it. But no, he blocks with the Thrall. Just trying to stop them drawing the cards. What's that off the top of the deck? I think it's a Scion of Draco.
Scion.
And he can give it haste. He can give it haste if he really wants. He can give it haste if he really wants to. Does he have a second creature? I think that's what he's going to do, though.
It looks like it's no, it's a stubborn denial.
It's a stubborn denial on the Scion of Draco. So he's going to give that Scion of Draco haste, and he's just going to say,
YOLO.
He's just going to say, right, I don't think you're going to be able to produce enough blockers
Because bearing in mind,
to answer this Draco.
you take it this time, but
And he can protect it as well.
Okay, yes, the Tamio is going to protect it. That is going to be one more blocker, but
I think that's a Kappa Cannoneer in Idris's hand. That could make a big difference in this game.
And we see a weird here with Idris's hand too.
Oh my god, that's huge. But he can't cast it.
Yeah, it does.
He can't. He can't cast the where.
No, it doesn't.
He needs white. He needs red mana, and if he has Spire of Industry, it's going to kill him. He needs to have a Mox. His only hope is Kappa Cannoneer, and that's exactly what he's doing.
It's
It's an artifact that's going to enter with a counter. It's going to be unblockable this turn, but that's not going to matter because it doesn't have haste.
He's wondering how big his
Unless he equips. And then Josh is on a potential 2-turn clock. I think that's Idris's avenue to winning this game.
His blocker is Tamio, whichever way he looks at it. So I think he's got to potentially look at, I need to hit you for a lot, and I'm going to have to sacrifice Tamio next turn. And
there we go, he's equipping, yeah. He's recognizing now that his avenue to winning this game is just by killing him. He's got 2 very large creatures. How big is the construct now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got an 8/8 and a 6/5. So that is going to be 14 damage. So that's a 2-turn clock from Idris's
Josh
side.
is going to regain 4.
How's he going to regain the 4?
He's got lifelink, isn't he?
Nope.
Oh no,
There's no ley line.
there's no ley line. Yes, but how much mana has he got? Oh yeah, no, because you need the colours.
Well, he's got 4 mana next turn. He's like, Idris is still dead to a burn spell, but Josh now also has to worry about the construct. If Josh doesn't have the burn spell, I'm not sure he can attack. Because he dies on the crackback.
I like this attack from Idris though, because like you know they don't have a burn spell.
Ragavan also does it.
There's the ley line.
There's a ley line, but I don't think... No, it is enough.
This thing.
Ooh, that's huge. That's huge.
Oh, because that's going to stop
Because the Arena of Glory came in tapped because he exerted it. He didn't have the mana to hold up for Stubby. And now he gets blown out by the wear. And he can't attack. He has to block.
So
Idris has a chance. He has a chance.
it just has a chance to actually get the Kappa Cannoneer out of range.
And oh my God, he's casting another one. Oh my God, he's casting another one. He's going to win this game. He has 2 unblockable threats. Josh has no mana. By the skin of his teeth at 1 life, Idris is going to win game 2. That is insane. He can't block.
This is incredible.
Oh my God.
And we're going to go to game 3. We are probably a lot more excited than we're giving. We are enough away from the floor that people can't hear us, but my actual excitement is that I wanted to just scream out loud watching that game. You see, I don't think there's any words really. That was
masterful. And I'm not giving Idris enough credit here. Idris being at 1 life, doing exactly what he needed to, playing to his outs to get out of this game. He faded multiple draw steps. He had to. It was the only way that he was winning that game. And he managed to get there with 2 Kappa Cannoneers.
And I would love to, if I was Josh and I was on Magic Online right now, I would absolutely.
That's a Mitko Salt post for sure.
I would be blaming the shuffler.
It's broken. It's rigged.
Yeah, obviously equal love either way in the chat from everyone. Obviously, this is great games, played in great spirit, and I can only continue to say thank you to the players for allowing us to run the events like this with the stream. It's additional added pressure, but we do what we can to reward them with better prizing. And yeah, thanks once again.
And and let me say, they're putting on a great show.
Yeah,
I mean, that game was
excellent,
beautiful. Beautifully played from Idris.
Big shout out to all the followers today. Jack and hey Josh, good to see you. Riska, Iconic. Everyone who's hanging out in the chat. This is top tier Magic at a local level. Like
local Magic is often some of the most entertaining Magic because you see decks that you don't expect, and you just have a good time. Every a lot of people here know each other. They're good friends. They see each other at RCQs all the time. There's a wonderful sense of camaraderie, and I think Idris and Josh are going to be talking about that game for quite a bit when this match is over.
We're not getting enough credit though. There's multiple people out there who have multiple day 2s, some Pro Tours, and
several of them
Axiom top 8s. There is just some quality Magic being played.
The caliber of players in this series is so high.
So
we have a result.
We have a result out in the outer tables. Current series leader, Francis Tyler, the current Severn River Series leader, has gone from 0-2 and has now gone to 3-2.
Very impressive.
Second place in the series, Sam Price already has ID'd as the top 8. So, there's already a little mini race happening here early. There is quite a few points. There is about 6 or 7 points difference between Sam and Francis. So, a good showing from Francis, but not top 8 in, still might mean Francis actually still is.
Me and Francis were having this conversation. I was talking with some of the players, sort of at the tail end around 4. And me and Francis had a chat because he'd gone 0-2 and he was 2-2 now. And we chatted about it. It was like, well, you got to go for this game because at the end of the day, given that you've gone 2nd and 3rd in the first 2 events. You've gone from 0-2 to 2-2. You have a chance to go 3-2. At the very least, you're still going to be pretty high up in the standings and very much in contention.
Yeah.
At the upper echelons of the league. So shout very good showing from.
Shout out for everyone who's already in our top 8. So we've got well-known Mana League regular Gavin Thacker. We've also got Bristol phenom Jose Pereira.
He's good. He's very good.
The man, the myth, the legend himself, Adam Bowers, is who was taking the People's Champion Cannon to the top 8 here. Sam, we've already mentioned. Jason Handy, again, instrumental part of the Severn River Series setup. He's up there with Saltai Frog.
What a deck.
And the biggest name, which will be for the Magic pros of yesteryear in here, is Douglas Penman is up there, a returnee to the scene recently, but 2 times Worlds, 3 times Pro Tour, Doug Penman. He is
The guy's good.
He's
really good at Magic.
If he is greasing those wheels, and the ring rust is coming off, and I think we all need to be aware.
I think that we will all,
A legend
in a couple
is back in
months,
town.
be very scared of Douglas Penman. Absolute legend of the game.
Dougie P, as we know him to, as he's known to his
And
fans.
just a really nice guy. He's such a nice guy. I've played so many friendly games of Legacy with him, beaten him a lot of times. So I a little humble brag there. But he's just so gracious, so sweet, very kind. As we see Idris going for a mulligan here. I'm not sure if that's his first or second mulligan, but
Well, I hope his dice currently says 5, so I think that means go to 5.
oh no, that's not good. But let's not forget, we saw him come back quite spectacularly from what started off as quite an anemic draw in the second game, and he pulled it out
Yeah,
at
absolutely.
the very last second. So, let's not write him off just yet. I think he's got quite a lot of fight in him. But we'll see. We'll see what his 5 looks like. See, just like bring it to me.
Looking what we can at what has been kept on Josh's side. We see a Doorkeeper Thrall.
Do I see a ley line?
We see a Carvu. We see a Flage. We see a Scion.
Is that a consign to memory as well?
I don't know.
I don't quite know. We definitely got the two.
I don't know how many lands I see in that hand.
We have 2 lands. I can see
We have 2 lands. Okay.
There is a consign. Yeah, he's kept the consign.
Consign a very good card against the Affinity deck for sure.
Now,
Okay, so off we go, Josh. Let's see. Okay, so I think we're just on a Civet.
Mox Amber, Mox Opal.
Really?
Whoa.
That this consign could be massive.
Holy moly.
there'll be
You got a consign.
Wow. Wow.
Was it not an argument to consign the Shadow Spear there?
Yeah, I think there was. But maybe Josh is just like... we know he's got a Scion of Draco in hand. Maybe he's just looking to go fast.
If he doesn't get a Triome, he doesn't Scion here. So I think he Scions for that reason, right?
Yeah, for sure.
No.
oh,
Interestingly, he doesn't get the Triumph. That says something, doesn't it? The fact that he's getting Lush Porter to go first, that suggests to me that he's got the Xander's Lounge in hand. So we might see him fetch for a Steam Bents to play the side. No, that's not going to work. Is he going for Carvu? He must be going for Carvu.
Yeah, this feels like a Carvu plan then.
oh, God, there, mate.
Oh.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's fair enough. The ley line at this stage isn't going to be very useful.
What a 5 though, Lucy. What a 5.
Insane.
Lucy, went to.
I am absolutely shell-shocked. But, I mean, these are the fast starts that this deck is capable of doing as we see the Carvu come down.
So Josh has gas though. Like, let's write this off.
Josh has a fast hand, but Idris having access to Shadow Spear is going to be... Wow, okay. I mean...
I'll be on.
You don't often get hit. By
I mean, Idris also has 2 more mana in the tank. Like, he could cast, like, a Metallic Rebuke against the Flage and keep his thing. Like,
I'm playing more reels in them.
he's just going to cast a Bauble. I feel like he's just going to crack it now, right? You're so low on cards, you want to draw, like, 2 cards every turn.
Yeah, you crack it to see what's here because you want to...
And what we don't get to see what's on the top,
We don't get to see.
unfortunately.
But we can tell you that it was a Carvu.
There was a Carvu. Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, okay. So there was an insta pass back, which means like that's the only holdback for Idris now is that like mana.
Josh missed his 3rd land drop. That's a big deal.
I'm guessing.
That is a big deal because that Flage in his hand
Night.
ain't going to do anything right now. He's going to be casting 1 spell every turn. He has big things to cast, but if Idris has the interaction and the card draw,
Sweet.
Josh is going to be in big trouble here.
Soul Guide.
Oh, Soul Guide Lantern?
Is this just insurance?
It could be insurance. It's slow graveyard hate, so it's going to make the Flage slow. But at the same time, you could also just cycle it every turn. And here's a Tameo
Give this on it.
and a Spire.
despite the absolute gas that turn 1 was, it just has now set up the most stally bald state possible.
Yeah. I do think we're probably going to see Emery bite the dust. I would not be surprised to see Josh using Tribal Flames to kill the Emery here. It's like, Idris is behind on cards. If he stumbles at any point, you're so likely to win the game.
I think so.
Your best shot is to kill his card draw engine, which currently is Emery. It looks bad. I think he's got a 3rd land as well, which means he can flage. You might just want to cash in the flage as a.
So Doorkeeper Thrall. What's the significance Doorkeeper Thrall will have when it's on the board here?
Well, Doorkeeper Thrall will stop flage from sacrificing itself, so we could just cast it for 3 mana.
So artifacts and creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. So, like, the damage is done from a point of view of like ETB on.
Just going to play a second card. Okay. And now he's cycling. So this is what we thought he was doing, right? He's going to just draw a bunch of cards using the Emery as an engine to draw 2 cards every turn.
Cannoneer.
Hopefully find things to get him in the game. Cannoneer here is just insane. Cannoneer here is going to probably be very difficult for Josh to deal with. But even like any thought cast.
It's not into it.
The Thought Monitor, anything, you can cast them for 1 mana, draw a bunch of cards. Doorkeeper Thrall's not going to stop that right now. It's his best chance to do it. I think I might see... Do I see a Metallic Rebuke in his hand?
Yep.
I think he's going to get rid of the Draco now. And he's just cycling. That's what he's doing. He's just stalling as much as possible. Oh, here we go. Okay, here. Right. Here we go.
So nice. Or
Notably, though, Doorkeeper Thrall here is relevant because it will stop the Kappa Cannoneer getting counters when artifacts enter, which means that it can be blocked. That's not nothing. So
Yeah, because the Kappa Cannoneer needs to grow, right, before it's a major threat.
Ooh, baby.
Cast 3 fills.
What a Malta 5. Can we just talk, like, this is a Malta 5.
This is the best Malta 5 I think I've ever seen.
It's one of the best Malta 5s I've seen in a very long time, but it shows you the power of this deck, right? Being able to play Mox Amber and Mox Opal in an artifact-based deck where you've basically got a million mini Ancestral Recalls whenever you want, and you get to just have 3 mana on turn 2. Just like it, Idris got to have 3 mana on turn 1. And that's just bonkers.
That's incredible.
Who cares that it was a Malta 5? And that Shadow Spear, this Shadow Spear is going to matter.
It's going to matter massively because any race that was potentially possible from 5/5s and 4/4s.
No, it's no longer.
It's gone.
Like, Josh, if Kappa Cannoneer gets to stick around, if Josh does anything other than hold up Doorkeeper Thrall here, I think he's going to lose this game. Because Kappa Cannoneer being unable to block at the moment is incredibly relevant. Because if Idris is forced to attack with a Kappa Cannoneer that can be blocked, even with Shadow Spear or anything like that, it's going to die. And he can't. I don't think he can afford for it to die.
This has been quite a tough stall on 2 lands though as well, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very tough for Josh. Keeping a 2-land hand and just getting mana screwed is very difficult here.
Zoo on 3 mana is living, and it's living well. We have another result in the outer tables. Unfortunately for some in the chat, Dylan, who we saw last round, has gone down to Gab. So Gab
doing very well.
Gab's mate
could potentially be in top 8. We don't know. There are 2 spots.
And now we've got we just don't know breakers, right? We're calling this a winning in because this is basically seed 4 and 5.
Josh has passed with 2 mana up. He's leaving up the Thrall. This is what I said. This is what you have to do if you're Josh to not lose the game.
Yeah.
If you want to win this game... okay, here's an artifact, and now the Thrall's going to have to come down. Thrall's going to have to come down right now. Does Idris have a dispatch? Did he let it happen? Did Josh let it happen?
It's the land.
Or is he
right?
thinking?
The land still trigger it?
It is an artifact, so yes, it will trigger the Kappa Cannoneer.
But then the Thrall won't stop.
Oh, it's too late. Yeah, no, you're right. It's too late. So what Josh really needed to do was flash it in on his upkeep.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, so I won't blame Josh for not seeing that. Josh, it looks, Idris even, looks like he's going to -3 and try and get back a Thought Cast. And there's the Wear Tear for the Shadow Spear.
Yeah, that's smart. Because
Does Idris have anything?
But obviously, could
yes, I think is the answer.
He's going to crack the Soul Guide Lantern, try and draw a Metallic Rebuke? Was that it? I think that was it. No, it wasn't.
No.
Never mind, I'm seeing things. Oh, Metallic Rebuke was what he got back.
the dog fights. Yeah,
But now Emery can just cast it again. So we've got the same problem.
It's a slowdown, but it's not a stop.
doing. I'll get you.
It is, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think this game might be over, Dave.
So I'll go pushing on.
Yeah, like you still need to tread lightly if you're just because this cap and cannoneer is still a little bit of there's a little bit of glass on the edges, but soon it's gonna get out of reach.
I mean, yeah. Now this game is practically over, right? Idris has got an 8/8.
What you do? What answer does Josh have?
Good question. I couldn't tell you. I think Josh is just in big trouble here. I know some zoo lists sometimes play Wrath of the Skies, but that's not going to help with Kappa Cannoneer. He's stuck on 2 lands. So I just don't see how Josh gets out of this. Idris is at 24. Josh has had 2 Carvus this whole game and has not been able to attack with either of them.
The third land had come any time in the last 3 turns.
Flage kills Emery in this, and this doesn't happen.
Idris having the potential to go Pro Tour and to be a hand model. Thank you, Dano MTG.
I think that's the chat message of the century, Dave. I think we found it.
That's one for anyone who has a quote of the week. That is a quote for the ages.
I think it's probably a good time to address something here, right? Some of you may be watching this and thinking, oh, Idris got really lucky in this game 3. But let's not forget that the only reason that there's a game 3 happening in the first, and that's going to do it, Idris is going to win and is going to go to 3-2, which should lock him for the top 8. What a match.
I'm going to try and get him in to have a quick chat to you.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I will say, yeah, some of you may think he got lucky in that game 3, but we wouldn't have a game 3 in the first place if Idris didn't play that game 2 absolutely impeccably. He had to fight to put himself in a position to fight it for that game 3. He mulliganed to 5, and he got a really, really good hand, recognized that he needed to make the best use of his Emery to draw as many cards as possible, and just to stall Josh, knowing that would get him there. That took a lot of skill on Idris's part. So props to him for taking that one down. That match was a treat to watch. I think we're going to get Idris in to have a quick chat with us about that match.